My fourth IVF was easier. I already had 2 fertilized embryos frozen and ready for transfer. But this time, I was not my usual sweet self. I was highly irritable, always transferring my pain and aggression to the hospital staff and even the doctor. I was filled with mixed emotions, anxiety, depression, mood swings. Even I and my husband had a very big fight because I accused him of cheating on me simply because he came late to pick me from the clinic. The funniest thing was I could see the error of my ways. I could see how bad I was behaving, but I just could not seem to help myself or stop myself. So we were almost always fighting during this period. The 2-week wait came and went. Once again, I tested negative. Some of my mentors tried to keep me going. However, I decided to take some time off before I tried again. Once we were ready, I went back to the clinic. The doctor once again advised me to go for an egg donor. And once again, I vehemently refused. I told him to never speak of such in my presence again, ever. I knew my God, and I knew that I would carry my own babies from my own eggs. The doctor insisted that the failures could be as a result of my egg quality. Still, I refused. Why? Why would I carry a child that had no genetic relations with me? Why would I carry another person's child? I had gotten pregnant once now, so I knew that I could do it again. I threw in my all. I did acupuncture, tried yoga, took supplements, started exercising, and even became vegan. During this time, my marriage had become rocky. My husband did not like the fact that I had become so focused on having kids as opposed to being focused on him and on our relationship. He said I had allowed our love go cold. We no longer had fun. We no longer had normal discussions. My entire focus was on the fact that I wanted children. So, he gave me an ultimatum. Choose between this IVF and me. I could not believe my ears. I was so angry. Did he not know what I was passing through? Could he not see the absolute beating that my body had been taking over the years? My man told me that he was not particular about having kids. He said that he wanted me and not this shadow that I had become. He even said he would not contribute 1 dime to the 5th IVF, but would only give a sperm sample if it was needed. I told him that was fine, so I went around and raised the needed funds through friends and family. My people. The 5th IVF failed. So did the 6th. And same went for the 7th. My marriage had become a performance by this time. All looking good on the outside, but deeply flawed and shaky within. We lived separate inside the house because I had chosen IVF over him. We had been married for around 10 years. I had no money. I was deep in debt, with creditors calling daily to ask for these monies that I could not even pay back. By this time, I had stopped going to church totally because I was just devastated. It got to a head when church elders had to come mediate between myself and my husband. I still couldn't bring myself to let go of my desire to be a mom. So we decided to go our separate ways. It was during this decision that I slept and I had the dream. I dreamed that I had just come back from work, tired but happy after a fulfilling day. At the door, I saw 4 children, 2 boys and 2 girls, rushing to come greet me and help me with my bags. The dream felt so real that the feeling lingered even after I had woken up. I felt so happy and at peace. It was then that I heard a voice asking me why I was so insistent on using my own eggs. Was I good? Why would I not take the advice I had been given for years now? When I woke up, my mind reeled. I knew that this had been a divine visitation, so I went back to my husband. I knelt. I begged him. I accepted my fault and I encouraged him to join me in what I had decided was going to be my very last try. We reconciled and we agreed to make the moves together. We went back to the doctor and confirmed that I was ready to use donor eggs. The doctor was so happy. He said that this was going to increase the chances of a successful process at the end of the day. He explained to me that the eggs were gotten from ladies between 23 and 29 years who voluntarily donated their eggs in order to help couples who were going through fertility issues. He said that the hospital screens all candidates and that the eggs were donated by graduates with no criminal record. He further stated that the comprehensive tests were always carried out to ensure that the egg donors did not have any adverse health conditions or negative hereditary traits. He assured me that everything was done legally and that all legal bases had been covered. My only request was that they choose a donor who looked a little bit like me so that my children would come out also looking a little bit like me. The wait was not as long as I expected because we soon found a suitable egg donor. The process was not as long as the other times. I just had to take some tablets and wait till the embryos were ready for transfer. 6 solid embryos were the results of this process. 2 were transferred while the remaining 4 were frozen. Probably because of the experiences that I had had, I did not put too much emphasis on this IVF. My attitude was such that I even forgot to take the test on the 14th day, only remembering on the 16th day. My test came back positive. Yet I was scared of the possibility of another missed abortion, so I held off hope till I was called in for a confirmatory scan. Good news! Not only was I pregnant, the fetuses were viable and strong. I was over the moon with joy. With the support of my husband, we stayed prayed up through the 9 months of pregnancy. I was on cloud 9. I had even forgotten that these babies were not from my own eggs. Such petty matters did not bother me any longer. At long last, I was delivered of my twin boys. Healthy babies with strong lungs and no birth defects. I was overjoyed. I ensured that the party was big. The glory of God shone through my life and I was eternally grateful. 1 year later, I asked the doctor if my frozen embryos were still available for transfer, and he informed me that yes, they were. I only needed to pay the arrears on my freezing fees and I could get them transferred as soon as possible. I did not think twice. I swung into action. I organized myself, got my husband's support, and we had another transfer of 2 embryos. Like magic, everything once again went well. The pregnancy progressed smoothly, and at the end of the 9 months, I was delivered of 3 babies, 2 beautiful girls, and 1 boy. Now, I was a mother of 5, 3 boys and 2 beautiful girls, and I could not help but wonder why I had allowed myself go through so much pain when all I needed were donor eggs. I had been kicking against having children that did not share my DNA. Now, I know that being a parent has nothing to do with a DNA connection. It was all about the love, the care, the decision to nurture, and the environment in which that nurturing was taking place. To imagine that the children all ended up even looking more like me than they did their father. I have learned that children are indeed a gift from God, and as such, it is our duty to love them and train them to the best of our ability, with the aim to teach them to be better than us. I learned to yield and be realistic, not just stuck in my own desires. I had read several articles stating that at 40, there were higher chances of birth defects and miscarriages. Still, I had stayed obstinate that I wanted to use my own eggs. Now, with donor eggs, I am a mother of 5. It was obvious that what I wanted was not what I needed. In fact, what I wanted was not what God wanted for me. I made the moves as if I was really seeking God's will, but I was not. Rather, I was trying to get God to bend to my will for what I wanted for myself. I was just hell-bent on what I thought I needed. My advice: no matter what happens to you in this life, always seek for God's plan first. Ask God for His direction so that you know exactly what to do. Also, do not allow pressure weigh you down. Do not allow frustration to set in. Do not be desperate. I had IVF 7 times. Wasted money instead of listening to advice and getting my results. If you do not take anything from my story, remember that all children are a gift from God, whether they come by donor egg or donor sperm or both. See it as God giving you a chance at parenthood, which you might never have had otherwise. My name is Sheila, and this is my journey to motherhood.
Hello, everyone. I hope you have enjoyed this episode. It's the reason for this is for you guys to learn from people's stories, their mistakes, their ups and downs, and to empower you to make the right decision. Don't forget, you are not alone in this journey. Infertility is a journey, but it has a destination. Don't lose focus on the destination. The destination is having your babies, so do not lose focus. Most importantly, make sure your mental health is key. I believe today's episode has worked well for you. Learn from it and please share, subscribe, and next week, catch you for another episode. I remain Dr. Global. Thank you.